Have you ever looked something up on ChatGPT or any other AI software? You probably have, but the sad reality is that not everyone has that type of accessibility to AI, and there is a big problem with the digital divide when it comes to what groups of people have the most access to AI in the world. It mostly depends on where you live, since people in the US and China have the upper hand in this scenario because they usually have more access to it than the people living in other countries, and higher resource people usually have more access to AI than lower resource people on average as well. If you were trying to inform yourself on AI, you would probably look it up on the internet or look up a YouTube video, right? Well, most people around the world don't have that kind of access to the internet either, so how informed different groups of people are on AI is also a big problem because not everyone has the same education and understanding on how to use AI efficiently. In a study done by the UNDP, it was proven that people in the Southern Hemisphere, mostly people in Latin America and the Caribbean, have the least amount of education and understanding of how AI works and how it can be used to their advantage. One thing that people like you and me could try to do to reduce the digital divide is try to encourage our local governments to implement high-speed internet and computers with access to AI in accessible public places like the local public library, so that everyone can have access to AI regardless of what economic position they might be in. In these same libraries, there should also be free classes taught by professionals that are accessible to everyone on how to use AI to your advantage and what AI is. Where it gets tricky is when we try to implement a solution in a worldwide context. The ultimate goal is to convince the countries that have the most access and knowledge to AI to share it with countries that don't have as much information to try and reduce the digital divide in this aspect. But it is very tricky to do this as a regular citizen, so we will have to work our way up to that. In summary, the digital divide in AI and technology in general is a major issue when discussing fairness and equal access to resources, since not all of the world has the same access to AI. So we as a community must do the most possible to try and reduce this digital divide and get equal access to AI everywhere possible, since it is such a revolutionary tool that is starting to be used more and more in our day-to-day lives.